Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ernest and I want to welcome you back to this YouTube channel. Okay, today we are back with a fuel cells management system. If you are a person who is into the fuel stuff and fuel cells, this will be perfect for you. Or if you are a student and you're apparently looking for a good inspiration for this will be a good start. So today we come back with a fuel cells management system, and we're going to dive right into it and we see how this works and what it does. First of all, I'll make sure my XAMPP server is up and running because it's a local system and it can get hosted anytime. Yeah, it can get hosted anytime, but I'll first make sure that Apache is running and my SQL server is running for the sake of database. Okay, today I have this fuel cells management system where you can monitor or keep sales records of a fuel station. Yeah, of a fuel station. I made this some time back, but I kept on changing and updating it over time for some period of time, and I guess this will be a good way to go. So we shall be looking at how to manage sales, how to record daily sales of a fuel station. Well, it can be a small scale fuel station, yeah, with at least 6 pumps. 6 pumps. A pump is like a station where I don't know if if you're not yet into these things of fuel, but the pump is something like that one thing that brings out that fuel when you ask for it. You're in a car, but you want the fuel for maybe $10. Yeah, then they put that thing right into your car. So that's a pump. So a fuel can have like 4 pumps or even one. So today we shall be looking at how you can set the price of fuel. We shall be looking at how you can set the price of fuel. If today the fuel is 5,000, how many liters did you start with? How many dips? How many electronic readings? And how do you make the full sales amount for the full day or the whole shift as a manager of the station? Well, it will be a good way to go because it helps you keep your records, helps you monitor these digits each and every day as they get saved automatically in the database day by day and time by time. Well, it's not that perfect, but it's a good idea or way to go because I can advance it the more, generate reports, produce sales samples, predict sales, something like that. So right now I'm going to log in as manager. You can see manager, the password is here already. Yeah, but for my database, this is how my database looks like. This is what it looks like. I'll go to localhost PHP my admin. Yeah, these are my other databases because of course I make a lot of systems like this, but this is called the database I named is called Petrol. So you can see the tables. It has accounts for login information. These are other tables. We shall go through them when their need comes, because accounts is where I get the password. I'll log in as manager. The password for manager is this. Yeah, so let me try to log in. We see what it looks like. So manager, I'll go to login. It's loading to log me in. I made this with HTML, of course CSS, Bootstrap. I made it with JavaScript, Ajax. The database I used was MySQL with PHP You can see this. I'm using PHP server 127.0.0.1. Yep. So this is what it looks like. The interface After logging in, of course, when you have a wrong password, it won't log you in. So let me just try to manipulate this to say invalid username, of course. So if I get the right username, I'll just head on to the dashboard. But when I head onto the dashboard, it says today's sales are not yet recorded and gives out the date. Today is 2024. You can see this date. Currently logged in as the manager, and I can log out if need be. So I call this just NET fuel monitor. That's just a name. We don't have to take it that much. NestWave. Yeah, NestWave. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel to check out this. For source codes, you can always hit me up, or I'll leave the link in description for you to get the source codes and maybe do something with it. Or maybe you were a student, you want to make research, something like that. Or maybe you are a potential buyer and you want to purchase this. If you like this, you can just hit me up. I optimize and customize it for you, make it better, make it up and fully working. So the dashboard has sales computation, net credit sales, pumps and shortages, parking center items, workers and human resource, sales records, and file manager. Sales computation is the main thing in this, where someone can get to fix prices of the different fuel we have. Yeah, net credit sales to see the credit sales. Credit, you know what that means, credit. Pumps and shortages. Actually, sometimes these fuel stations have some shortages like machine breakouts, like maybe a machine has got a problem, or maybe some units are not showing. Yeah, something like that. So they'll all be handled right here. Yeah, backing setter. After a full shift or after a full day, a manager is expected to bank that money into a bank. Items are just other things that come with the fuel station related to fleet or vehicle. Things like gas cylinders, oils, things like that, and of the sort. Workers and human resource. These are just payrolls, workers who work at the fuel stations. Then sales records. You can actually just see what you sold, the records you have. So the table below shows sales records. You shall click on the ID or date to edit all and see the details, but no data available in the table. So I'll head back to the dashboard and I'll start to compute the sales for today. If I had computed the sales for today, this wouldn't have been here on the dashboard. But let's see how you can compute sales for that given day. Okay, so I'll go to sales computation, and it'll take me up right there. This is what it looks like today. Well, the design is good. I tried to take some time on this. Yeah, the design is really good. You see these colors, petrol stations with these such colors. So this is where you can compute daily sales. Fill the form below and click to save changes. So it has a day-to-day by automatically. This is a day-to-day. Yeah, so you can change this date if you want, but of course we shall compute for today. This is called the price board. If you ever move on maybe like a highway, you always pass by a fuel station and you see that big billboard. I don't know if I can call it a billboard, but something like a board where they show the prices of different fuel they have. Maybe that one is 5,000, a liter is 2,000. Depends on the country. Some countries are naturally favored with those minerals, so they won't have to hike those prices to be that much. So according to the date, this ID will be generated, but it's not editable. You can't edit it. Even if I write anything, I'm trying to write something, but it can't get written. Yeah, so that's it. So let's see how you can start up. So to start up, we have 3 types of fuel, most common. One is PMS, Argo, and BIK. PMS, I noted something down here. PMS is, something. Actually, PMS is the most common, to be honest, I've ever seen. It's called Premium Motorsport Spirits, popularly known as petrol. Yeah, petrol. Most people know it as petrol or gasoline. Is primarily used as fuel in internal combustion engines and consists mostly of aliphatic hydrocarbons obtained by fractional distillation of petroleum. There are big countries that distill, they mine and distill this fuel and produce it. These countries are very, very rich. Maybe like UAE. Actually, some Arab countries have it most. So there's Argo. Argo is automotive gas oil. It is known as diesel. Your car can be a diesel or petrol car. It is ideal for thing. Argo is ideal for road vehicles, trucks, buses, vans, and cars powered by diesel engines. Some engines are naturally powered by diesel, others by any other gas. It can be used for power generators. This fuel is obtained in the mid-boiling range of distillation process of crude oil. So it's basically crude oil, but in the mid-boiling stage, or like distillation. BIK is just specification for kerosene. Kerosene. Okay, so go back here. So you can start with the price board. You set the price of that day. I say petrol was this, Argo was this. After setting the price, you come and these people who are on ground, managers, they make manual readings, and after they make electronic readings, after having the amount of petrol or diesel in their tanks. They have tanks, so they do that every time when the shift starts, or like daily. So they have to make manual readings. So I made pumps. This can be a pump 1, pump 2 of PMS. So there are 6 pumps of PMS, and Argo or diesel, there are 6 pumps too, but basically BIK is 1 pump. Most fuel stations, they don't invest in BIK because it has less market, depending on the country. So these managers, on-ground managers, they make sure they make readings to see what they are starting with and what they are ending with. So if it's pump 1, they make sure they make readings both opening and closing. So opening and closing can be manual, where they have to make dips. Making dips means like they physically go to the ground and make sure they measure that quantity that's there in the tank, both manually and also electronically, and also get the cash for it. So this and this can be varying because, of course, of human errors, or maybe of mechanical errors. This can differ from this. So when the manager goes down there and makes sure, now today we are starting with 1 million liters opening with, but we read that manually. We are starting with 1 million and we closed with maybe 8 million. So if here you started with 1 million, electronic can differ because some a machine is better than some human, one or the other, but not in every case. So if here it was 1 million, here it can be 9 million and 99.9. You see that 1 liter pending, eh? So the same applies here. So after this, how much cash are you starting with according to what you have in the tanks? How much are you closing with according to what you have in the tanks? So those are readings. After reading, you will go and compute the sales, whereby you're making the sales of pump 1 PMS. How much did you sell according to the price you had this? Yeah? According to the price you have this. If this is little for you, you can collapse this and make it longer. The system is perfectly responsive on any device, so you can see that. So I'm just passing you through first. So you make sales of every tank. here, maybe how many sales do you made the same year and how much cash do you have. It will make sure it computes the sales, total manual sales for just PMS, for just the petrol, total electronic sales, and also the total cash you have, total manual sales and electronic sales. You get? The same applies to Argo or diesel. Same applies to BIK, but it's just one pump. Here there are six pumps because of their demand. Then after, we shall get the general total sales according to the tanks we had. 6 tanks of petrol, 6 tanks of Argo, and 1 tank of BIK. We shall see total manual sales, total electronic sales, total cash you have, total manual sales and total electronic sales. So that is done. After, you go to tank computations. As a manager, you compute tanks, PMS tank 1, Argo tank 1. How many deep stocks? We call it J. Product receipt, total stocks, closing deep stocks, tank deep sales, electronic meter sales, daily variations. How is N variating from M? Yeah. So cumulative variations. You see. So then we shall say the sales summaries, Argo, PMS. Then we get the total. Then we shall get the net fuel sales. After getting the net, we shall go to other sales. I told you other sales include things someone just buys, maybe like gas, batteries, liquid gas. This is the fixed price for one of these. You can see that if I sold today 4, I'll get 4 times this, and that's the amount I'm making that day. If someone purchased things like burner, cylinders, brake fluid, Havoline, then we shall go to deduction. Of course, there are deductions like promotions. Yeah. So there are some credit sales, people you give fuel but on credit, some on discount, and also RTT. RTT is like a tax, where maybe like a sample is taken from the government to make sure you up the standard. You are the standard that what you're selling is cool and 100% okay and verified. This is the sample I'm talking about. Pump errors. Sometimes those machines make errors, like pump shortages. Also food allowance. Food allowance applies for the human resource you're using, for the labor you're using. So the generator shall get the total deductions. If I make the generator to be like 4, you can see that the total reduction is already this. Food allowance, maybe it was 30,000. See? So just put back 0 so that we compute afresh. Then we get the net fuel sales, any other sales. This is the total according to what I put already. B minus A, total deduction. We have no deductions, so it means this total cash is the cash you have to have at hand. There is no other thing you need to do. Then you will get some of this and bank it. If you get the excess, also C. So let's dive right into it. Let me just go afresh, and I don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Ernest, and I do such simple things, try to make simple things simplified, right? So that's it. But please consider liking my video. If you like this idea, please give me a thumbs up. Yeah, if you want to purchase this, you can always inbox me. I leave my contact details in my description. So today, let's say we are starting a new day. The fuel station is starting today. I told you make readings. You can fold this. You make sales competition. Let me fold this. Tank computations and sales summaries. Net fuel sales. Then other sales. So this is what we have to do. These ones I've just folded them up. I encapsulated them into capsules where you make readings, sales competitions, tank competition, blah blah blah. Yeah. So let's go. Then you can save. Actually, these you can make them during the course of the shift or anytime. You don't have to make them at once. So first, I'll just set the price and I set the readings and I save it. Then I just keep updating it. I'll update that sales record. How do we do that? This is how we do. So let me open my readings. So the date is this, the ID is this. Today petrol is for according to my country right now, I mean, let me give it 503,000. No, rather 5,300. I'll go 5222. This is 5,222 money. I don't know what currency I can use. Let me just say shillings. BIK is somehow real. I'll just give it 6,000. Yeah, so I've set the prices. Let me make the readings. PMS on tank 1 is 2,000 liters. When I'm closing, I'll leave that for now. Opening. So if this is 2,000, this can be, let me just give it 2,100, because when sometimes counting you can make that error. So how much cash do I have? How much cash do I have at hand? Let me just calculate. Open up. Yeah, this, you need to be good at math for this, of course, yeah, well, despite the fact that things are already made, but you need to be good at this first. Let me get a calculator. Where is it? Yeah, anyway, let me just put any cash. Let me say 5 times this. Let me put 1,200,000. Sorry, 1,200,000. You can already see that when I click, the value there is already selected. So by default, all the values are zeros, so that it makes the counter for this. All the values are 0. You can see that in my script. Which page is this? Let me check in my script. I go to management. This page is called SS. I use PHP most, so it is the script I wrote, but by default most values are just zeros. For PMS1, you see the readings, value is 0, you see this. And on click, the click function, this is selected, and on input, a function called honest is run, and also to validate the floats, because you're working with floats. Float is like 1.20, 100.11. That's a float. So this is my function honest, and I'll find, this is a very long script, and I'll just try to find it. Let me search function earnest. See, this is called the function honest. It's a very long function where I capture the total sales. The script is quite big. If you decided to come up with a project like this, honestly, you can't you can't consider making it in 1 month. I made it with some time, according to my research, and it's lovely, I must say. So this is just one function. You understand if you do a lot of coding, and you can understand what I went through to just make this sleepless nights research. Of course, I had to go to the ground and make some research. I make sure they tell me what it is. So if you're looking forward to buying this, you might be really interested in it. If you're a student and you want to get this, you can also buy it from me. Like, get all and everything, the source code, the database, and also the assistance from me. But this is just a function. This is just getting the values in an input field. This is just a totalizer. So on input, this is this. So this is just one pump, so you can do the rest for any other pump. Yeah, so I've not yet closed the shift, that's why I'm not putting these values. Yeah, but I'll just go ahead and save, so that I just keep updating. When I save this sheet, let me just call it a sheet, something like a spreadsheet. It says today's sales recorded successfully, and it will take me back to the sales computation but to the records. Yeah, you can see that I'm under the sales records. So I go to the sales records and I have this. This is the ID, this is the date. I can delete this if I want, but since I've just started my shift, I'll just say, this is saying click on the ID or date to edit and see the details. Let me click on the date. I clicked on the date, so it will just bring me back that same sheet with everything I had written. So I'm under sales tracking. I'm tracking the sales of this date. If it's any other date, to bring another date here. You can keep monitoring and changing values below every time until the day ends while they get saved into the system. So this is very important because it works let me just say asynchronically, like on real time. If you are the manager and you have some upper bosses, so the boss can be able to monitor this just looking at this, because anytime I make an edit, it will just get saved. If this is the price I set for that day, I'll just say let me make it let me add 50, and you can see that here I am already updating. You can see that sales details ID is equal to this. So if it's a query, I'm querying the database to give me the sales details where the ID is this. I can go back to my to my database here. Yeah, so I want to check out the sales record of this ID. It's just one ID, and this one is automatically generated. Let me show you what the it generates, the script for generating just the ID, because Control F. See, generate unique random number. It's just a random number with a timestamp. Yeah, so I added a prefix, I get the date, count. Oops. Yeah, so that one is just generating this. So I'll go back to my database. Let me go to browse. I go to the main database. So you can see that every table here is getting filled because of this ID. If it's Argo, it will be with this ID. I go back. If it's another table, this ID will already be there, because we need this ID. Every table we shall need this ID. Every table must have such an ID, so that when we select from all these tables, these are all individual tables having different records. So for that purpose, even every other table, I can say price boards. Let me go to price board. There's a table called price board. This is my database. This is what it looks like. Price boards. You can see that this ID is already existing with this price. Yeah. So you can see that the price of PMS was 5350. So I told you when I make any change here, it can get saved straight in the database. I'll make it 300 again. You can see records updated successfully, and I'll make this 520. Yeah, so you can see initially I'm having 5 this one. So if I refresh, you can see that this price is changing too. You see, automatically. So you don't need to save every time, but you can see that you have this. Yeah, so that's what we have. So on click or on input, if it's, remember we're working with currency. When working with currency, these commas are automatically added into what? Into this input. So the function for adding those commas is also written here, but of course that's not our major aim. Just we have to look at this. Yeah, so I told you we had made readings already. Yeah, so you make readings. I told you the readings for last time were 2,000 liters, and open like this. So I'll just close this. I'll go to sales computation. This is already showing some value, but this one will get fixed after you make the sales computations. Yeah, So don't worry about this. I told you tank computation, sales summaries, net fuel sales, other sales. So I told you these are the capsules, so you can be able to expand and decline. So after that, for making and monitoring the sales of this date, see, you can go to credit sales and discounts given. You can see that this one, when I click on it, it will open up down here. Why is it not opening? Come on. So it opens like this. If there's a customer you gave a credit sale, you write it here, plus their invoice number, the number plate of their card, what quantity, debit amount, credit amount, card number, authorized by. This can be authorized by any worker or like person working at the pump, apparently, and shall get the net credit sales. Yeah, net credit sales, so that we get the net credit sales, we deduct them from the total sales we made from here and make sure we are getting. I don't know if I'm speaking a lot of new things, but what I can tell you, if you are into this field of fuel, you can understand what I'm talking about. You can also get this system as well. So these are discounts given, and this is a breakdown of the discounts, but this is for credit sales. So at least 3 customers you can give them. So you can get the net credit sales again after the discounts. From here you can get customer name, quantity, pump rate, discount rate, total number, product, customer contact, and authorized by. Yeah, so that's what we have right now. So let's go ahead to pump shortages. Pump shortages, when I click on pump shortages, they can appear here. If you don't want this, or maybe you have little space, your computer is maybe like a short screen like mine, that's why I captured them. Just close this. Go to pump shortages. How many shortages? Who made a shortage? Who made a shortage? That's a big question on a station. Who made the shortage? Someone who made the shortage, maybe ABC made a shortage of 20 liters. We shall of course investigate about them later, me as a manager. How did you make? So no one made the shortage, and I'll delete this and I will get records updated. We get the total shortages, that's done. So I'll go to finance. Finance is here. Let me close the shortages part. Go to finance. Finance. How much money do you bank after making your sales? If you banked 200 million, what was the slip number of the bank slip, and what time did you bank it, what date? Yeah, so that one I'll leave it. You go to items. Items, what did you sell? These items are already inbuilt in the system, so if you're starting with your station, you know what you have as a side items. For cooking gases, we have liquid gas 6 kg, 12 kg. They have their IDs already according to what you want them to be. Yeah, remember, I've not yet computed the sales for that day. I'm just passing through. Yeah, lubricants, code number, description, opening stock, receipt quantity, closing stock. You can see that things that are already made. Service bay, you know, those filters, plugs, oil filters. Yeah, so this is a very robust system and the way to go. You can imagine most companies have it as an Excel spreadsheet. Others have it as a desktop application, but mine, I chose to make it a web application because you just need a link and any computer, any device, because it's perfect. Now let me just inspect this. It is perfectly responsive. Yeah, now you see this can be like a tablet. Let me just show you for a tablet. So this is a fold phone, you know, those okay, now this is like a phone, see, but you can compute this using a phone, but for your own convenience, just use a computer, because now I can click on this. This is long enough to see. I'm using now a phone, Yeah. So NestHub Max. A NestHub is like a widescreen or tablet. So you can see that it's very responsive, very responsive. So me, I choose to make web systems because they can go anywhere, even on a device. Yeah, because I already made. Actually, I used my framework Bootstrap to make everything responsive. Yeah. So that's what we have. Now let's dive right into something that has sales computations. Yeah. So this, we want to make sure that cash at hand is the amount you've made according to the shift as a manager. Okay, so the prices for today are this. Let me just say closing, I closed with 1000 liters. I started with 2000, I'm closing with 1000. Here let me say there are 1005 liters, 50 liters. It means cash, I started with 120 million, so I must close with the amount of this. But for now I won't calculate it. Let me just, it means I have to, of course I need to be having more money than this. You know, fuel, it's a highly profitable business. I'll just give it 200 million. Let me just give it that. Yeah, the same applies here, everywhere. Just know I'll go the same. I'm just using one pump, but depends on the pumps you have. Let me say 100 liters, but of course most companies buy a lot of liters. Let me just give that closing. Let me say I close with 1900 liters. Yeah, 109,000 liters. Opening, closing, 180. What's the cash you have? Here I'm just putting any figures, but of course it has to be more authentic. 500 million. Yeah. If you're looking forward to starting up like a fuel station, you can get this software. It's free. So let me just enter that and I'll close this. But you can see that records are already saved. Even if I refresh this, the values will be already there. I don't need to click on save buttons or to monitor it. The values are already there, and like it's like they're already there, input already. Yeah. So let me just close there. I'm done making my readings for the day, me as someone. So computations. So we want to see how many liters of PMS did you read or did you sell. So you can see that PMS for this day was this. So how many liters do you have? If I put 1, to multiply, it needs to multiply this time with this. Yeah, to make sure I'm getting the sales for that day. You get what I'm saying? So the same applies here. They can't be negative because you need to know the real money. Yeah, but I just don't want to make this video short, but I'm just giving the best idea. So here to make the sales for this, these are the total sales we have. The same applies to Argo and BIK. Same applies here. Then I go to tank computations. Tank computation deep stock. If I put 1, you can see this is the same value with here for PMS. Product receipt 2. Closing deep stock 1. So what are the cumulative variations? Just what is variating from this? Let me put this, and I put here this. I'm just entering random values. Yeah. So that we just, I don't want to make this video short, but if you're watching this, this is fine. Now here comes the real deal, where you may have to make the sales summaries. Yeah, sales summaries. What was the new price of PMS? What is the quantity? Let me say 2000 liters. What was the pump rate? Pump rate is the price. Let me give it 5000. It means 5,000 times this to make 100 trillion. 100. How do they read this money even? Because this is just 1 million. This is 1 trillion, isn't 100 trillion for this. Let me just put 29 liters at a price of 499. This is you can read for yourself. This is the total sales summaries, you see. Yeah, so it means the net fuel sales so far is this value. Yeah, it becomes this value. But if we make other deductions and discounts and credits given as breakdowns, we shall just make sure this one is just getting reduced. Yeah, so let us see within these other sales, what other things did we sell? For liquid gas 13 kg Libya, I sold 4 items. Okay, 3. So 3 times this, I'll get this money. For battery water, I sold 1. For liquid gas, I've sold 3. Quaz, I've sold 1. Delo, I've sold, maybe sell this one, they've bought it today too much, 20. Rubia gas, I sold 3. Battery acid, I've sold 6. So 0 6 times this, you get this. Of course, now this 0 doesn't become significant because 0 times any number, it becomes a 0, but safe. Okay, let me just make it 6. Yeah, a ban, I've sold 1. Delo, this T5 6300, I did sell. Cylinder gas for 6 kg, I didn't sell. Refill gas, I had 4 customers refill their gas, so I get this amount of money. 5. Havoline, I sold 70. If I sold 70, I'll be getting 1 million out of other sales. So other total sales, I have 2,200,000. Other sales, I have 2,782,000 shillings as sold from other sales. Credit sales, I gave out 300 liters. So 300 is like a deduction. Yeah, so 300, if I gave 300 liters times this amount of the price today, how much would I be getting? Yeah, so let me just assume, I don't want to open my calculator, but let me just assume it is 115 million credit sales. 15 million. Discount, I gave a discount of 2 million. RTT expenses, they took a sample of 50 liters. 50 liters, maybe they are worth 250 million. Let me just give that. Pump errors, I made a pump error of, okay, I didn't have any pump error. Pump shortage, maybe my trusted worker made the pump shortage worth 1 million. I'll put it here. Food allowance, generator, those ones I didn't have. So now the net fuel cells still become this. See, it's the same value, but still the same. So it means other cells, I made this amount of money. I told you other cells, I made 2 million. It's what comes here. Yep. So collections, I didn't get any collections. B minus F, nothing. Total deductions, they are this. So it means cash at hand, I must be having this value of net fuel cells minus the deductions and also the credits. Okay, minus just the deductions. Yeah, so actually here I didn't put the formula, I didn't program this, I didn't code this, because at cash at hand you need to be having all of this minus this. Yeah, then how much do you bank? If I banked, let me say I banked this is 1 million. this is 1 billion, 100 trillion. So instead of 100 trillion, I banked this exact amount so that I remain with some balance. I'll just put 100 trillion. Just put 100 trillion. It means the excess or the short you remain with at your hand as a manager is 1 million. It's one, is it 1 trillion? Yeah, something like 1 trillion. Yeah, so this is what you have at hand, just for purposes of keeping the change and having some money at your hand. So if the boss or the general manager or like those higher people get this, they'll just see how much cash you had at hand. Actually, they pass through this whole thing and see how things go. But if they don't have time, just look at this. Yeah. So the sales you made, they are just this. I told you they are already saved into the system. Yeah. So this is done, and you've finished to compute the. I told you monitor this out of the whole shift. That's why I didn't give details for each and everything here. Yeah. But as a manager, you monitor this each and every day. If your shift is 12 hours, you keep seeing this, and at the end of those 12 hours, you're noting down these things. So after doing this, you go to credit, sales, and discounts given. These are just details of what you gave. Yeah. These are just details of what you gave up there. You make sure you put them. Who did you give that discount? Let me say you gave to NestWave. Yeah, you gave him 30 liters at a pump rate of 500. Discount rate, total amount. So you fill these details and make sure you present this spreadsheet to the bosses. So also you do the same for pump shortages. You go to finance, you make sure you give these details of what you banked here, you put them here. For the purposes of not making this video short, so I'm just summarizing. You go to items, what did you sell and how, what quantity, what's the receipt. So it's a good way to go. Yep. So I'll go back to sales records and see that this is the only record I have for today. The same thing applies for tomorrow, the other day, the next day. But remember, as days go back, the price, as days go on, if this is the sales for today, it means what I closed with yesterday is what I'm starting with today as my opening stock. If I close with 1,000 liters today, it's what I'll get tomorrow. Yeah, as my opening. The same thing applies for the next. So at the end of it all, you can be able to get 1,000 records of the sales records. Yeah, you get a lot of records. So if this is just one record, you keep having more. And here I'm just showing one-to-one entries. So to make such a table, I used data tables. You can search the date by ID. There's no ID with this. There's no sales with this ID. Let me search 2024 06. No sales for 06. You can even filter here by first date, last date. Can get sales of any day, because this can be as many as you can yearly, year in, year out. Yeah, you can have this system offline, but for that purpose only the manager at the ground only be seeing, or maybe when the things are networked, the computer are in one station but they're networked, it can be able to work together. If your boss is ever around, can be able to see things from his computer or at his point of view. But if your boss is somehow distant, he can be able to check out these things if in case this system is hosted and made online. And I can do that because I just need to make a database. I buy some good hosting, yeah, and everything is okay and smooth running. These are the tables I made, and every table here has a different structure. You can see that just for subtotals, just Argo subtotal, I gave it its own structure, MECT. So it's a good. This is some good time. It's quite a lot of energy, and I put into this. You can export this table as Excel or a PDF and print it. Actually, for this whole thing, I can select this whole thing and I export into Excel, an Excel sheet. I can just say, let me just copy these whole things, and if I copy this, I can put them, and as paste them. By default, they will fill themselves into the Excel sheet. But I think the formula was what come out. Actually, I also have this program as a spreadsheet, very very fully automated. So you can buy one of the two. Let me just show you here. Where is it? See, I have this same system as a spreadsheet. I developed this so you can see this. Actually, I could have just used these figures so that this thing comes out. Yeah, but that time wasn't on my side. Well, the video is quite long, but consider giving me a thumbs up. So this same thing, I developed it with PHP, JavaScript, what here. Yeah. So if you also want this, to purchase this, I can give it. At a given price. Well, this I can't give it at just a price because it's more automated than this. So what works for you is what you go with. The problem with this, you can't monitor it online when you are many people. If you have people managing if you have 5 people managing one station, you can't be able to monitor it. So if now I go back to my dashboard, I can see that there's something for today, because the system, when you log in, let me log out. When you log in, by default, the system is supposed to tell you that you haven't computed sales for today. See, welcome to your dashboard. If in case you computed them, it gives you price rates for today. This is our price board, 530 shillings. The currency I made it UGX, because if these are dollars, that's too much money. But this is just this. So you can see that the readings for today, PMS, all these other things are just summaries for today. You can see the design, the outlook, others. You can see tanks, employees, recent bankings, just something basic. But the back end for this is quite overwhelming and very heavy to look at. Now this is just one page, because I didn't want to break a lot of pages into this. But all of this is just the backbone of this, of course. Yeah, most things are looped, but for this case I didn't want to use a lot of loops, because at least I tried to make 6 pumps, because those loops sometimes it can be disturbing. You can see your net credit sales, that you can give all this and see. Yeah, pump shortages, who made the shortage. Here you can be able to make sure who made the shortage. Banking center, items. Yeah, we are good to go, and this is what we have. I want to thank you so much for watching this video and sticking with me till the end. But for business operations, please inbox me if you're willing and you want to come up with something, you want to develop something like this, or maybe not specifically for fuel, for any other business, just to make sure your business is using an outstanding and a properly made system. You can inbox me or reach out to me on my email or my WhatsApp. I'll leave it in the description. If you're just a student and you're looking forward to this, you can also inbox me. We have a talk and we see which areas you need to focus, or you need to make some research. I have many other systems like student management system, sales record, employee, payroll, student grading. I have a lot of systems, so just that I don't make videos for them because most times they will come out long. But if you need the source code for this, I'll leave the link in description. And if you like what I'm doing and you want to use this, you've maybe got an inspiration or like an idea, please subscribe or refer this to a friend. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. What do you want me to talk about? Please, I support me by that way, or maybe subscribe, and please subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. See you round. Blessings.